This video is brought to you by Ravenscraft Realty of Northeast Missouri.
Morning, everybody. Just got done with class here in Ag Engineering. It's a Thursday, and I only have one class on Thursdays. Electricity at 9:30 in the morning. Today we talked about solar power. It's interesting. Anyways, I'm gonna get something to eat, and then we're gonna go to Radford. I hope that they let me drive the Gleaner again, but I don't know. Go Tigers. Looks like today we're gonna be brush hogging. I'm gonna be using the trusty old Magnum and 15-foot John Deere brush hog. I inquired about some potential Gleaner action, to which I found out that the Gleaner was broken yesterday. Oh well. So I ended up not brush hogging anything, but I got to drive the semi around the yard. So I'm basically a super trucker now. I come from a freight shaker family, and this old Kenworth is pretty nice. Rides almost like a pickup. Fall tillage, 1982 style. You got 1086 and an International 496 disc. If that doesn't say 1980, I don't know what does. This field here has been sufficiently disked, so we're gonna fold up and go eat Buffalo Wild Wings because it's Thursday and that's what we do. We were having some problems with this tractor at first. At first it had hydraulics, but it didn't have steering or brakes. But then I got over here and then it didn't have hydraulics, but it did have steering and brakes. Yeah, it's an old tractor, but hey, the horn still works. The wings are kind of slow to lift up. That one folds up first. That one's kind of slower. It's been kind of fun to run a 1086. I'd always wondered why they had such a good rap or alternatively such a bad rap. There's no in between. People loved them or they hated them. I'm kind of undecided right now. At first it was a pain, but it's all right. Well, that was an interesting experience to say the least. One thing I don't like about Columbia is there's traffic. Granted, it is 5:30 and it's rush hour, everyone's trying to get home, but nonetheless.
I'm in there.
It's a fine morning here at Mizzou. Just came out of Memorial, got my Starbucks. Yeah, I know real farmers don't get Starbucks, but I'm not a real farmer, I'm a weekender. I've got 2 classes today, then I'm gonna go to Bradford. This is the part of the day where we wait for class to start. The physics building is currently empty. Time for farm management. I'm gonna finish lacing up my High C Outdoors steel toe work boots, which you can get at the link in the description, and use the code for a little bit off. I give them a thumbs up. Time for some Magnum action. Get the brush hog here folded up and get to work. Right here behind me is a little piece of ground that I was disking up yesterday. The reason I was doing that is so that we could run a land plane over it today to try and smooth it out, as there had been some tillage with like a disc or a vertical tillage tool done when it was very wet, and it made some low spots in the ground, and it holds water, and that's generally not good for the crop that you have planted there. Here's my coworker running the land plane. He said hi. It's a busy day here at Bradford. I can't believe that International went from the 1086 to this Boxcar Magnum in just a couple of years. The controls in this one are actually located in places that are convenient instead of being all over the cab like they are in the 1086. Let's just say that I was a little bit less than impressed with the 1086. I will say that it is A, very durable, B, very powerful, and C, it can turn very short. time left to do is one little field over here north of the driveway, but my guidance doesn't seem to be working. It's not zooming in or taking coverage. Mom just texted me and said that there's leftover hamburgers, so we're eating good tonight. My work here at Bradford's about done. I mowed like 5 fields of corn stalks today. Pretty decent day. And we moved like 11 tables and 33 chairs. Kind of random, but that's to be expected at Bradford. You never really know what you're going to be doing from one day to another. First stop of the day is Nutrien. And no, I'm not paying a bill or anything like that. I just have to grab a soil probe for some activities that I'm going to be doing this weekend. Shed update. It looks like this now. Here's my awesome soil probe that I'm going to get to use this weekend. I'll explain more about that when we get to it. Looks like the old boys are actually working on the grain bins today. Today is a special day. Today should be the last day of bean harvest for 2021. Of course, we also have a lot of corn left to shell still, but the important thing is beans are going to be done. We're about ready to head out. We got a little bit of a drive to the last farm, but we should be done sometime this afternoon. Well, I had some complications there getting started. As soon as I got on the road with the combine, my nose started leaking, and hey, they're putting up the leg. That's pretty cool. And due to my nose leaking, I had to get out of the machine and get things under control, and apparently forgot to put the ladder back in on the combine, and going down the road, and an old boy pulled over with his pickup, and I didn't think I hit him, but he stopped in front of me on the little later on down the road and said, "Boy, you're darn lucky." And then I hopped off and looked at the side of his pickup. There was just a little streak of rubber from the very bottom of the ladder on the wheel of his pickup. So I was literally within inches of owing someone some money. I guess the moral of the story here is that you can't get in a hurry, or you make mistakes, and mistakes cost money. Also, you shouldn't take advice from people with a blue shop towel in their nose. We got about 50 acres of beans left, and I had to stop and do some fixing on my cutter bar. It's going along okay, really, but the whole hitting the fella's pickup with the ladder thing kind of put a damper on today's spirits, but it'll be okay. Looks like we have a coyote spectating our harvesting activities. He's probably just looking for a cheap meal. I seem to have encountered some obstacles out here. I can't say I've ever had to move a kid's playhouse out of the field before, but I'm sure it's happened. There's a juvenile eagle that's out here watching us pretty close. He probably thought I was gonna run over him. We got a couple acres down here in this creek bottom-ish area, and a couple of the acres down here are actually drowned out, so there's 0 in them. We're thinking that all the beans we got left are gonna fit on one truck, but I don't know, it'll be close. This is it. This is it, guys. This is the last of the beans for 2021. And just like that, we're done. Feels good to have beans done. Now we can set the head off. We're gonna go ahead and take this combine home for the year. I made sure that I actually swung my ladder in this time so I didn't have any more close calls with vehicles. Last time Dad ever sets his head off on a trailer, because he's trading his head. I can't tell you what we're gonna get yet. It's gotta be a surprise. Here's something cool. This is a 735 FD, which stands for flex draper. You can really see the flex over here. I'm hopeful that tonight I'm gonna get to run this nice, shiny, new to us 9520 RX. Our main man Rob has been out brush hogging around the edges of fields all day. Fancy seeing you guys here.
Try to clear before we get out of that bridge. It's not wide enough.
We're getting everything moved here to the next farm that we're doing for corn tomorrow so that we don't have to do it in the morning. Dad's just pulling in. Justin isn't far away. This little tractor certainly looks out of place at a John Deere dealer. Just got out of church. I'm doing some Sunday morning shopping. This is the biggest little disc that I have ever seen in my life. This thing might actually be a vertical tillage tool, which is code for it's a disc. We're gonna use a real vertical tillage tool today.
You don't need to take pictures of that.
I was gonna go mow around one of my farms at Withers Mill, and might not be doing that now. If you guys remember the soil probe I picked up yesterday, I got it right here along with some soil sampling stuff, and I am gonna go sample some soil. Got another farm rented for next year, and part of the deal was that I get it soil sampled. Everyone's booked up for soil sampling, so I just decided, do it myself. See if I can learn something, and then I can say I know how to soil sample. I have been soil sampling for like 2.5 hours. I can now say that I've done soil sampling for myself and that I know why it is hired out most of the time. Running into issues here with the probe where the dirt will get packed up in the front of it, where it's just kind of slow going out here by myself with this high-tech piece of soil sampling hardware right here. But the good news is I only have one place left to sample, and it is right over there in that field. This whole soil sampling thing isn't really that difficult. It's just time consuming. Here, I'll show you. Take your probe, pick a nice spot, kick all the trash off the surface. There's a yellow mark right about here that marks about 6 inches. Put the probe in the ground to 6 inches, and voila, we have soil. After you've got your sample right here, you need to have a bucket to put the sample in. I'm pretty sure this ground's a little on the wet side for sampling because every single one of them has fought me on coming out. Make sure it crumbles up nice like this so that it'll fit in the bag better. And that actually is the last sample that I'm gonna take today. And when you've gotten this far, got all your dirt in here, give it a good shake to mix everything up from the different sample locations. Then you get a bag, such as this one right here, and you take the dirt and you put it into the bag up to the red band, like it says right there. I took as many as a dozen or more cores from each location. There was 10 of them on this farm. And I thought, I'll get this knocked out in like an hour tops. And I've been out here since like 9:30 and it's now noon. But you know what? It's okay. Once you got your bag full up to the line, take the bag, fold her down, and that's it. I just taught you how to soil sample. I'm like the best at this ever. I'm actually not, by the way. I struggled doing this. The whole point of doing soil sampling is that we can then know how much organic matter, sulfur, zinc, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, and the pH of soil, various other things like that. And with that information, we can then figure out how much fertilizer we do or don't need to put on for the next year. And all this is to kind of help make the soil healthier and make it more productive, because it's all about money in the end. And more productive soils equals more money. And I like money. I noticed there was some old equipment back in the draw here, and it looks like we have what's left of a lime applicator, a corn picker right here, and a John Deere number 12 combine. Hard telling how many animals have made this their home over the years. Looking at the serial tag, I was incorrect. This is a John Deere Model 30 combine. When I brush hogged this farm like a month ago, I noticed this old combine back here, but I didn't see any of the other cool things back in the straw. I suppose I should go home now. I'm excited to try out this new to us tractor. All clear. We're gonna go run over 2 farms here close to Palmyra that had some down corn in them and to some extent. And the thought is that we're gonna get it sprayed so we have less weed pressure early on next spring. And then we're just gonna plant into it in early-ish April. I'm excited to see how it works out. We really don't do a lot of fall tillage on the hill, at least. We do have disc rippers that we will run over our heavy gumbo ground that's in the river bottom, but by and large, we haven't really done any fall tillage on the hill before. I'm about done with my end rows on the second of 3 fields here at this farm. Then we have one more that's over, it's over there somewhere. There's a really neat old house back here on this farm. Of course, it's not safe to go in, so no old house tour. It is very awesome though. I've been close to it. It's just about 5 o'clock. I'm gonna get folded up and head to the next farm. Scooting right along at 8.3 miles an hour. Disregard the flashing light. That's not important. Everything's working down really nice. Since there's no one else working around here, the light game no longer applies. This is like a 55-acre field, and it's mostly in one field, and it's nice long half-mile rows, so I should be able to get this knocked out pretty quick. And this is the best tillage tool ever made. That's the hill that I will die on. Auto steer engage. Absolutely flawless, like an expert. And with that, we can go down the road. I got myself moved here to the next farm that I'm gonna work on tomorrow. And we're gonna come back in the morning, fuel ourselves up, and then knock out the rest of this ground that we're gonna run over the Salford tomorrow, and it'll be done. It's kind of chilly this morning. This may be a big tractor, but these bins make it look very small. I've got a couple things to do this morning, like take my soil samples out to Nutrien and get those turned in so they can get their thing going on it. And I'm gonna get a haircut and stop by the bank. So I think this is a good place to leave you guys, but thanks everyone for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I think we can do 10,000 by the end of January. I think it's possible. Thanks everyone for watching the video, and I will catch you guys on the next one.